Good morning. Welcome to day 9 of 21 days of yoga. Thank you for being here. This has been a really lovely time for me, just to put it simply. And I hope you've been enjoying it too. Let's come to a seated position. Sitting however you're most comfortable, cross-legged or any way at all. And just close your eyes and take a few moments here to connect to your breath, your body, ground yourself, set an intention for your practice, for your day. Whenever you're ready, slowly make your way to a cat-cow position. So you know the drill. Just begin whenever you're ready and moving at whatever pace feels best for your body today. Breathing fully, mindfully. Remembering that a little bit of movement is always welcome. I often feel stiff in the spine and in the neck in the morning, so when I go up into cat, I like to roll my head and neck just gently and slowly from side to side, and that always feels really good in my neck and upper back area. And some movement you can add into cow pose is gently and slowly turning and looking back as if you're trying to look at your tailbone. And that can feel really nice and activating for the spine and the stiff back as well. So in cow, just gently looking to the left, to the right, almost like you're trying to look back at your tailbone. Okay, and whenever you're ready, we're incorporating some leg lifts, activating the glutes, waking up the hip flexors. Nice, easy way to warm up, and it's a little bit of a workout too, but nothing crazy if this is first thing in the morning for you as well. That's the vibe, that's the theme of this 21 days, is short and sweet, impactful, nothing too difficult, nothing crazy. So just a few more lifts here. Try to keep the core engaged while you lift too. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that before. Beautiful. And whenever you're ready, just slide right back into a child's pose position. So I chose to keep my knees together and my feet together. So you can take that option if it feels nice, or do it how we normally do with the knees wide and the feet together. Try both and do whatever your body is saying yes to today. Breathing into your back. Three more breaths here. Just slowly, as you exhale, start to walk your hands back up towards your knees. And we'll stay here for a moment, sitting up straight. Let's give the shoulders a little roll. Now, very carefully and slowly reach behind your back, and don't just immediately try to straighten your arms, because that might not be available to you today. So really slowly see if you can get your arms straight after interlacing your fingers together. Release if anything doesn't feel good. And if there's a bend in the elbow still, that's totally fine. It's still a great stretch. So adding in a little extra layer here, only if it feels good, folding forward, bringing your forehead to the floor, and see if you can pull your arms up higher, 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 breathing, and slowly come up and release. Take a few moments here, a few breaths. Give the shoulders a roll again. All right, so remember the windshield wiper thing we've been doing with the knees? Let's do that. It's one of my favorite things to do. It just feels so good on the hips. It's really chill and easy. It feels good to do it slower or speed it up. So find what works best for you today, what feels the best. Feel free to stay over to one side and kind of push the knees to the floor and lift your hips. Almost try to push your hips toward the ceiling a little bit so you get a bit more pull in the hips. There's always room for there's always wiggle room in yoga. It really is about getting to know your body and getting into all the little nooks and crannies that we normally don't access while we're just living our normal daily life, right? All right, butterfly pose. That's what we always called it in Taekwondo. Let's bring the feet together and start to bounce the knees. This is such a great way to energetically activate you and clear energy as well. So not only does this get blood flowing and loosen the muscles in your hips and your back, this also energetically is a clearing and grounding exercise if you set the intention for it to be that. So I like to visualize like a grounding cord going all the way through my spine and into the earth. And as I bounce my knees or flap my butterfly wings, anything that no longer serves me, any muckiness, heaviness, any energy that's been sticking around that I've picked up along the way from other people and places, gets released back into the earth as I ground myself in a little bit of a movement practice. So that's kind of a cool way to think of it if that feels good to you. All right, so I'm warming up our legs. That's the goal here before we go into our next pose. So let's knead the legs, make 2 fists, and just kneading the legs on the inside, the top, the side, kind of just gently hitting yourself, punching yourself. I'm trying to think of a better word. Kneading your muscles with the outside edges of your fist. Good. Shake the knees a little bit. So today I'm very excited. We've done this once before, but we're gonna do it again. Starting with a modified pigeon. So see what I'm doing here? Both knees are bent. My one foot is resting on top of my other knee, sitting up nice and straight. Rotate to the side and fold down to the floor. You can stay on your elbows. You can stay all the way up on your hands. You can layer your arms or make 2 fists and stack them and place your forehead on there. Cool. And sometimes it can be helpful if it feels really tight or hard to settle into a pose to come out of it and start over. Sometimes we just need to re-enter the pose and it will feel completely different. So if you ever feel like you're not getting settled, slowly come out. Slow is always the vibe. See if you can adjust yourself a little bit more, make the spine a little straighter, rotate a little cleaner. Fold forward again. Really breathing into your back, consciously relaxing as you exhale. We're going to hang out here for a bit. So try to find a nice spot, a sweet spot in the zone of comfortably uncomfortable. We want to give our body a chance to a chance to really relax and access deeper tissues that we normally don't when we don't stretch for as long or hold the pose for as long. So we're hanging out here, okay? So find your sweet spot and keep on breathing. And just a heads up, in about 3 breaths, we will not be coming out of the position, but maybe look up at the video again. I'm going to transition from modified pigeon into full pigeon. Fun, right? I apologize, Jax was very active this morning. So to transition to modified pigeon, we want to completely be facing either the left or right, whatever way you're facing. That back leg straightens. The hips are rotated, so your hips are facing the floor. Your chest is facing the floor. And that front leg, see if you can push the foot up a little bit, but just as much as you can. That's all you can do, right? But we do want to try to get the foot up. The goal is for it to be in line with the knee, but don't ever feel like you're not doing it right. Pigeon pose, to be in it deeply, requires spending a lot of time there. So just be cool with wherever you're at. I'm nowhere near like the ideal pigeon pose place. All right, and finding your sweet spot here again. I think it's really nice to start from modified pigeon and then make your way into full pigeon. How about you guys? Let me know how you felt about today's practice. I'd love if you left a comment and let me know what you thought, what you think about modified pigeon. When I first learned that, it blew my mind. And I was a yoga teacher for quite a while already. I had just gone to a class shortly after I moved to Toronto. And they did it in a class, and I was like, holy, this is the best. It's such a nice transition. It feels so much better on the body. It's such a nice thing to guide you into pigeon pose. So I was really happy about it. And remember, movement is always welcome. So you can always come back up onto your hands, give your spine a wiggle, wiggle your hips a little. A little bit of wiggling helps us find our sweet spot. So 5 more breaths here. Very slowly start to make your way, walking your hands back up, almost like an upward dog position. And slowly start to ease your way out of the pose. Jax was laying on my leg for that. It was good. He was kind of applying pressure to a good spot. Okay, shake it out. Do some kneading of your legs. Some blood flowing. Let's bring everything back to neutral. Getting our legs ready for the other side. All right, so whenever you're ready, I like to windshield wiper the knees first and then make my way to modified pigeon from there, because it's basically where you want your feet and knees and ankles to be. So I'm just kind of moving around here. You can follow what I'm doing or just chill for a minute before we do the other side, or do whatever feels best on your body right now. All right, so making our way to modified pigeon. Jax, right in front of the camera, man. Okay, sorry. So yes, making your way to Modified Pigeon, sitting up really straight. The spine is nice and tall. Rotate and fold. So we'll hang out here in our Modified Pigeon. I think it was for about 2 minutes. So feel free to move around. Remember to breathe. Find that sweet spot. Come out of it if you need to. Go back into it slowly. You know the drill. Breathing into your back. Full, slow, relaxing breaths. Letting yourself melt into the pose. Marinating in it. Every exhale you take, melting. I love the word melting and marinating when it comes to yoga poses, especially any kind of deep hip openers, because that's what it feels like, melting and marinating in all the good energy that's being cultivated. So really slowly, whenever you're ready, start to walk your hands back up, and we will transition to our full pigeon on this side. So making sure the hips are square, so the hips and the chest are both facing down, facing the floor. Try to push the bent leg, the foot, forward as much as you can. Be totally cool with wherever it lands. And stay up on the arms, go on your elbow, make 2 fists and stack them. Find what works for you here. Breathing into all the nooks and crannies. Doing little wiggles, little adjustments, little movement to see if we can ease into the pose a little bit more with every breath we take. Exhale, release. Being totally present with your body, with your breath. So about 5 more rounds of breath here. Slowly start to walk your hands back up towards your hips. And very slowly start to lean back, straighten your legs. Take a moment here to just breathe, shake out the knees, just chill. Give your legs a little squeeze, whatever feels good. Okay, a little more butterfly pose if you want to join me for that, if you're feeling it. And whenever you're ready, making your way to a cross-legged position, whatever is most comfortable for you. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And begin to send healing energy to yourself, from yourself. Our bodies naturally have so many healing abilities. We are all natural healers. So visualize healing energy coming from the yoga practice, the self-love practice that we just created all this good energy, and now it's flowing from your hands back into your body, helping you, healing whatever needs to be healed. What a beautiful thing. Give yourself a hug, nice big squeeze, an extra hard squeeze, one from me too. And namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow.